I'm Jacoby. Hi, I'm Jacoby. That's my legit username. Hi, I'm Jacoby. Don't just. I wish I could get Jacoby, but I couldn't. But I am Jacoby, and I'm gold. Yay. Okay, whatever. I know I'm not Diamond 1 or anything, but I still think that I have advice. I have advice in the just sense of I played a lot of solo queue games, and I just have certain points that I think are really good for people. Just people who want to learn bot lane and how it kind of affects. Because a lot of people are really confused about what are you supposed to do in bot lane and what you're supposed to do after you get out of lane and how you win your lane or whatever. I may not have the specific details, but I feel that I have compiled enough information just to kind of be like, here, take it. I actually have three rules. I have three rules that I like to give out. One of them, this is the most important one. Remember this one. This is the most important one. It's actually kind of two-parter. Part one, don't play Caitlyn. I just don't play Caitlyn. I don't like Caitlyn. Caitlyn just Caitlyn. There's nothing more to say about Caitlyn. I hate her. Terrible in lane makes the lane really boring for both sides. I have a really long range. It shoots them and they're like, oh man, I took 700 damage from one auto. Oh man, headshots OP. And then they Q and you take all your damage and you're just like, ah, blah, blah. Just I don't like the Caitlyn and the things and the stuff, and I wish the Caitlyn would die in a hole. I really do wish Caitlyn would die in a hole. Like legit. Like if they could take the champ, make it real, make a real life person, put him in a hole, have I would like scorpions. Scorpions would be nice. Scorpions hurt. Scorpions are the animals that can kill you slowly. It's very nice, very painful, very not enjoyable way to death. Enjoyable for me because I'll be watching on the outside. Around, I will have popcorn, seat, movie, not a movie. A movie will be Caitlyn dying. The greatest movie ever. Drink. And I'll just sit there. I'll sit there with my popcorn. Eat my popcorn. Mmm, delicious. Popcorn. Caitlyn dying. Amazing. Bravo. I know it'll get Oscars. I know the Scorpions will get Oscars because, you know, Kate died. Another thing. There's a picture League posted on their wall. It was of Caitlyn dead with Vi. And Vi was all like mad, but I was smiling. I wish I was the one that could have drawn that picture, and I wish I was been on the other side and killed that person, killed Caitlyn. Oh, it would have been amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have good dreams tonight about killing Kate. It's gonna be very good dreams. She's gonna be like, oh no, my net didn't work, and I can't instantly go back 5,000 paces, and you're dead. You did. You did. You did. You did. Okay, another person. Soraka. Don't play Soraka. This is kind of a general idea for support. Most supporters don't like Soraka, but I really don't like Soraka. Mostly because you make the lane really boring, and I hate you. Uh, Biggest problem with Soraka is that you have no engage, but you have no disengage, but you just heal, and that's all you do. Yet somehow in the early level, you still survive. You have ridiculous heals, and you give ridiculous armor, so you cannot trade. You try to trade, but then you don't trade, so your AD carry goes up. Now you gotta go up as an AD carry, and I trade with you. And then AD carry's like, fuck, I took a lot of damage, and they didn't give me anything because they're a bitch. So they don't take any damage because they're a bitch, but then they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, I need a heal. And then Soraka's like, oh, well, guess what? I have one right here. Boom! And then heals, and they're like, oh, well, wow, I guess we can do this again. And we could do it over and over. We could trade, and I cannot trade back, and just, it's just amazing. I can just trade without having to trade. And I just hate Soraka so much because of that. I hate her on my team because she tries to trade, and I trade with her, and we do pretty well. We might get a kill. I don't know. Probably not because, she doesn't have any engage or any CC whatsoever. Uh, but we might get a kill, and that might be good, but usually no. And after that, she's pretty useless. Here's a heal for Zed ulting you. Great. Oh, here's a silence, I guess, on Zed, but he's already kind of done everything he can. Uh, here's another heal. Oh, wait, you're already dead. Oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep going. And oh no, everybody's dead, because I can't do anything, and we didn't have any engage, so they engaged on us, and we're all dead. Let me just Q. Q Starfall. I'll bring the stars to them. The stars will be their reckoning, and they will be feared by their like 3 magic resist reduction. Whoop-de-doo. If you stack it like 50 times, you get negative magic resist, and you get a little bit. You get your 100 damage Starfall to do 110. Way. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Much damage. Such wow. Um. Yeah. Okay. Rule 1. Don't play Soraka or Kate. All right. Done. Done with that. 2. Let me check the. Okay, we're good. Rule 2. Supports are the life of the AD carry. Biggest thing. A lot of people don't realize it because they're just kind of AD carry and they're doing all this damage a lot of the times, and they don't really see how much a support does because a lot of times it can be going so fast. Supports are the life of the AD carry. You give them spell shields with Morgana. You give them stuns with Annie or Leona or something. Even with something so hard engaged like Annie or Leona, they can have another engage. They can have a Hecarim on your team and he's engaged, and you just sit back there and just keep that person that's trying to get on him in the same spot so your AD carry can get them, and that's all you're doing. That's perfectly fine. You could be Leona and not engage. That's perfectly fine as long as you have another engage. Because if you don't, you're kind of screwed. Because if you're already in that spot where you're kind of getting messed up in the back line and you're the one engaging, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to do. There's honestly, I wish I knew, and I'm sure there's a way to know. But from my perspective, there's 80 carries that basically go in, and there's 80 carries that don't. But there's 80 carries like Thresh who are really nice, especially Morgana specifically, who are a good combination of both. They have a lot of good disengage and they have a lot of good protection, but they also have, good engage. So they're kind of the OPs right now. Morgana, maybe not so much played as, but Thresh is played so much. Thresh is played all the time. And that's honestly why I picked the Morgana, because Morgana kind of counters Thresh in a sense. It's kind of a skill thing, but it is kind of a counter, so. Anyways, support is the life of AD carry. 2. That's the big thing. 3. You, as an AD carry, cannot really get countered. And what I mean by really get countered is really get countered. Leona playing against Morgana, not fun. You go in on that, Lucian, trying to freaking get him and trying to stun him up, and you can't stun him up, and that's all you can do. And all the magic damage you've done has been blocked by a shield, and you've literally done nothing. Great. Okay. You're literally rendered useless in the lane, except you just jumped onto them and Morgana binds you, and then Thresh or Lucian does all his damage and kills you, and you're like, great, that was wonderful. I did all that. You might be a distraction, like, hey, I'm coming at you, woo, ah, bang, 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 and you're like, no, okay, never mind, forget it, and then you die, because you just had no effect on a spell shielded Lucian, and he just burst you down with all of his abilities. So that's basically point 3, which is that supports can get countered hard. And there are counters like Vayne into Draven where you would not be favored as Vayne, and Vayne into Kate where you would not be favored as Kate, or as Vayne. But other than that, I mean, off the top of my head, there's not much that's as big as a deal in lane with supports as other things. I mean, there's, back in the day when Corki didn't have the ridiculous Q nerf that made it like a freaking alley-oop shot, like shooting it up, it was really easy for him to play against Twitch because you kind of not only got vision on a person, but you could get vision on an area, so you didn't even need to know where he was. You didn't even need to know. You can know he was stealth, and just kind of have an area like that you were like, okay, he can't get me from here, and you kind of could move around it. But now it's not as much. You still can do that, but it's not as great, but still. So, yeah, that's point 3, that supports can get countered, which I think is what you can kind of see is what Riot feels. I think, honestly, with how the game's been going, I would not be surprised to see a Bruiser support bot, because they're so much more important and they can fight better late game. Just being able to build damage and have base abilities that do a lot of damage and a lot of CC can be really good for just in general. And you might basically 80 carries a lot of times right now are just damage. That's all they are. And you can and they're really hard to keep alive. And it takes a lot of skill as a support to keep an 80 carry alive. And it might not be worth it to do that. You might just want to be like super teamfight mode go, Mumu, Wukong, Yasuo, Morgana, fuck shit up team. Like, we're just gonna kill you all now. It just, that might be how you want to do it now. And, I don't know. It just all depends. Obviously, in lane, the melees aren't going to do that great because they're going to get out poked. But if they can they can stay safe and they can stay well until late game, I mean, there's no telling what damage they can do. Because obviously, if they get to the same point, if they get the same amount of farm and they get the same amount of kills as an AD carry, they don't even need the kills. They can get assists. They will eventually. They will really do a lot of damage to an AD carry, and they'll probably be able to 1v1 any AD carry. Um, because they'll just be tanky. Uh, the other thing is they are really good to gank with, and so even with Wukong, who might not have so much CC, but he has a lot of movement, and he can really get in there on people. So combine that with like a good binding or something, just good binding from Morgana, and you got a first blood. So one, Duplicator Soraka, because I hate them. I hate them very much, and they can go die in a hole. Both of them, especially Kate. She can die. Two, support to the life AD carry. Very important because they just surround supports. Just, you will not live unless you have something protecting you as a AD carry in this meta. With so much CC coming out, or so much, not even CC, just chase. Shyvana with her speed up, and Mundo with his ulti, and Trundle with his just pillar and land thing. Renekton with his Renekton just does damage. He's just tanky and does damage. No, you're not gonna live unless you have that support with you. Three, AD carries can't really get countered anymore, but supports can, and that's a really big deal too. So especially in a solo queue setting, you might not want to pick that Thresh and that Morgana or that Leona and Morgana. You might want to pick something like Annie or Karma or something that might be a little bit better to just kind of play against. But yeah, so this has been my video. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you got some insight on it, just about kind of how AD carries and supports are kind of doing right now. Just how they're kind of, honestly, I think that they're falling out, and something's gonna have to change in the AD carry range. I think the supports are honestly fine. It's just AD carries just don't seem to have much, and it seems like for support, it's funny. They're trying to make supports more important, but in making them more important, they made AD carries less important. So they made AD carries not as great to make supports more great, and I think that's kind of funny. It's like, balancing. Anyways, hope you like this video. Yeah. So I'm Jacoby, or I'm Jacoby. Don't really say hi, but I'm Jacoby, and this was 3 points about bot lane.